thought power, its control, and culture. Welcome to Growth Mindsets. Today, we shall summarize the book Thought Power, Its Control and Culture, authored by Annie Besant. Let it be remembered that we are continually using the power of thought unconsciously, spasmodically, and feebly, affecting ever, for good or ill, all who surround our path in life. The introduction to this work may offer some difficulties to the lay reader, and may perhaps be skipped by such at the first reading. It is necessary, however, as a foundation for those who would see the relation of the intellect to the other parts of their nature and to the outer world. And those who would fulfill the maxim, know thyself, must not shrink from a little mental exertion, nor must they expect mental food to drop ready cooked from the sky into a lazily opened mouth. If this summary helps even a few earnest students and clears some difficulties out of their way, its purpose will have been served. We shall now summarize the 10 principal lessons of this profound work. The first chapter explores the very nature of thought by examining the relationship between consciousness, which is life or spirit, and the form which it inhabits. This duality of life and form is fundamental. They're inseparable in manifestation. For where form exists, life is present, and where life is, it is clothed in form. The self, as the ultimate knower, is distinct from the not-self, which encompasses all else. Crucially, the knower does not perceive external objects directly, but rather perceives images of them created within its own consciousness. These images are but fleeting reflections, and thus the world it forms is a world of illusion, a series of shadows that the self must learn to transcend to reach true reality. The process of knowing establishes a chain. A vibration begins in oneself, passes through its material bodies, is communicated to the surrounding medium, and impacts the material body of a second self, causing it to vibrate in turn. This is the essence of thought as a vibration in matter, an imperfect but necessary communication between separated consciousnesses. Following this, the second chapter reveals the mind as the creator of this illusion. It is vital to distinguish between the knower, which is the true self, and the mind, which is but an instrument the knower utilizes. The mind is called the creator of illusion in two senses. Superficially, it distorts our perception through prejudices and inaccurate observations. More profoundly, it deals only with reflections and shadows of reality, not from the thing in itself. To transcend this illusion and attain true knowledge, the self must still be in mind's ceaseless activity, either by becoming one with the object of thought or by ascending to the realm of abstract thought, where underlying principles are grasped directly. The mind itself is composed of two bodies, the mental family for concrete thoughts and the causal body for abstract reasoning, which is little developed in most people. This entire structure is built and evolved by the act of thinking itself. It is not the mere reading of facts, but the conscious exercise of thought that shapes and refines this instrument. Chapter 3 delves into the mechanics of thought transference. For thought to be transferred effectively, it must first be potent. The feeble, vacillating thoughts of the average person create only weak, flickering vibrations incapable of traversing any significant distance. A thought form must be clearly cut and well vitalized to travel and reproduce itself strongly at its destination. There are two methods by which this occurs. The first is the physical method, a conscious arc for brain to brain. Here, a thought generates vibrations in the mental and astral bodies, which then cause the physical brain to vibrate. These vibrations affect the surrounding ether, sending on waves that are received by the pineal gland of another's brain, which then transmits these vibrations inward to their consciousness. The second, more direct method is the psychical one, a transmission from mind to mind without intermediary physical organs. This requires a higher level of mental development. We all have a constantly engaged and unconscious thought transference, contributing to what is known as public opinion and establishing the appraisal rate of our communities. The practical lesson here is one of self-protection.
We must learn to consciously select which thoughts we receive by fixing our own mental vibration at a high and positive rate. The fourth chapter examines the very beginnings of thought. We must distinguish between the permanent knower, which is eternal consciousness, and the temporary mental vehicle, which is a transient form. Thought is not a innate faculty existing without stimulus. It begins only when the self perceives a relationship between a sensation and the external object that caused it. Sensation must precede cognition. A process unfolds as an external impact arouses the self's attention, causing a sensation of pleasure or pain. This stimulates the mental body to form a faint image of the object, and this helps inherent nature link the initial want, the object image, and the resulting sensation together. This very link is the first rudimentary thought. Thus, thought arises from the necessary duality of the thinker and the object of his thought, with sensation serving as the bridge. The accuracy of our thinking depends therefore entirely on the accuracy of our initial observation, for if the raw material of sensation is flawed, the resulting thought will be equally so.